What's up guys? I hope you had an amazing weekend and welcome to your good news blast for the week of November 20th. Let's start our week this week with a little bit of love. 20 years after their first wedding ceremony, Charlene Couillard and Craig Couillard renewed their wedding vows in front of their closest friends. Charlene, now 47 years old, decided to wear her original dress for the occasion. The dress was tarnished and faded, yet it was still beautiful, with Charlene saying that it was a perfect metaphor for marriage, and that it's not that I've had a difficult marriage, but it's not easy, and you have fights, and there are times that are not great, and you get through them together, and that's what makes you strong. However, this time round, the wedding was attended by a special guest, her father, John Sweezy. After her parents' divorce, Charlene's father disappeared for a while, resulting in him not being present at the original wedding ceremony, which took place in October of 1997. However, after reconciling with him a few years after the marriage, Charlene decided to invite him to the second ceremony. As Charlene walked down the aisle, John stood and the two embraced in a hug before John led her the remaining way to the front, kissed her, and then returned to his seat. The ceremony itself was led by a friend of the couple, who had a beer in hand the entire time. Can you imagine if actual vicars did that? Alright, everyone hold up. Hey, do you here take her to be your wife? Hold up, I need to go for a sec. Hold up. After the ceremony and her first dance with her husband, Charlene approached her father and asked if he was feeling up to a father-daughter dance, to which John didn't hesitate to agree to. During the dance, Charlene thanked her father for coming, who responded by saying, "I'm glad I could make it to this one." Oh, I tell you, it's emotional. Let's continue with the stories of love. Earlier this year in March, 41-year-old mother of two Nicola Hitchen was informed by doctors that they had found a tumour in her cervix after she was admitted to hospital for severe abdominal pain. By the time Nicola was able to start treatment on the cancer, the doctors at the NHS told her that it had jumped to stage 4 and it was therefore too late to start treatment. However, Nicola refused to give up and in July started treatment at the Chemothermia Centre in Istanbul, Turkey. The treatment was hugely successful, but before it could be finished, Nicola began to find herself at a loss for how she was going to continue paying for it, with it landing her an initial cost of almost £80,000. She also requires maintenance trips to the centre, each of which costs her about £10,000. So basically just a whole lot of money. However, just as she was about to give up hope, she was rescued by an unlikely ally. Nicola's ex-husband's new wife, Claire, upon hearing about Nicola's predicament, decided to set up a Just Giving campaign to raise money for her treatment. Claire set a target of £50,000 for the campaign, and as of the 18th of November, the page has already raised over £41,000. On the page, Claire writes that the boys need their mum and she deserves to have the chance to watch them grow into men and have their own families. So say if you've got a husband, how many of you would help out his old wife? All of you, right? That's what I thought. Moving on this week, 86-year-old Mary Freites had always enjoyed completing a good word search, but found herself unable to after dementia started to set in. Her grandson, 17-year-old, remember that, 17-year-old John Freites, saddened by seeing his grandmother not able to complete her favourite pastime, decided to come up with a solution. He created a new custom set of word searches that differed from traditional ones in 3 ways. 1, they had a bigger font. 2, they used simplified words. And 3, they no longer included any backwards or diagonal answers. Thanks to John and his idea, Mary was once again able to enjoy a good puzzle, with John saying that every time I showed her a new word search, her eyes lit up. Seeing how happy these word searches had made his grandmother, he then decided to start handing them out to the other seniors at his grandmother's nursing home. He also presented his findings on how puzzles can help Alzheimer's and dementia patients at a medical and lifestyle forum in October, with the experts at the forum left astounded by the brilliance of his invention. John has now released a book containing the Alzheimer patient-friendly word searches, which is called Grandma and Grandpa's Word Searches, which you can buy on Amazon. He is donating the profits of the sales of this book to Alzheimer's research. Not all heroes wear capes. In other news this week on this topic, Bill Gates has pledged around $100 million to Alzheimer's charities and research projects after he had a personal experience with the disease. That's a lot of money, you know, he could throw some my way, I'm just saying. Let's take a wee little drink. Oh no. The Newfoundland and Labrador Moustache and Beard Club of Canada have come up with a unique way of raising money for charity this year. Dozens of men from the organisation have taken part in creating a calendar in which they wear nothing but mermaid outfits. Canadian mermen to the rescue. They are doing so for a charity called Spirit Horse, which is a non-profit organisation set up to pair therapy horses with mentally ill youths and adults. The founder of the club, Hassan Hai, said they were creating the calendar because the charity they are supporting are desperately in need of funds and awareness because it's expensive to raise and upkeep horses. The calendar features pictures of these bearded mermen getting haircuts, drinking beer, hanging out by the sea, and blowing kisses to each other. That's all well and good, but where's my invite? I have a beard. I have a mermaid outfit in my wardrobe. What's that about? Missed opportunity on your part. Damn. Sticking in Canada for our next story, a team of medical and bioengineering undergraduate students from McMaster University have just won the International James Dyson Award of 2017 with a low-cost and non-invasive melanoma detecting device called SCAN. The device works by using heat sensors to detect the different temperatures on a person's skin between the melanoma cells and the healthy cells. It can do this because cancerous skin tissue metabolizes faster than healthy skin tissue, creating the temperature differences that SCAN can then use to create a heat map of varying skin temperatures, which can then be used to find the location of melanoma cells. Melanoma is the most common type of cancer. However, patients have a 98% survival rate if the cells are detected early, which this device can help with. The group have been awarded $40,000 to continue their work, with James Dyson saying that he chose their device because it's a very clever device with the potential to save lives around the world. The group themselves said that they were truly humbled and excited to be given this remarkable opportunity. Our story of the week this week comes from the land down under. That wasn't even Australia. What was that? For those of you who couldn't understand me, it comes from the land down under. But you know, it was Australia, never mind. Over the past 8 weeks, the Australian government has been running a voluntary postal vote on the question of should the marriage law be changed to allow same-sex couples to marry. Even though the vote was voluntary, more than 12.7 million Australians, which equates to 79.5% of eligible voters in the country, took part in the poll, and the results were announced on Wednesday. And as you've probably guessed, the majority said yes, with an overwhelming 61.6% or 7.8 million Australians being in favour of same-sex marriage. The bill is now being debated for amendments, with Malcolm Turnbull, the Prime Minister of Australia, aiming to pass legislation in Parliament by Christmas, stating that Australians voted yes for fairness, yes for commitment, yes for love. Whoop whoop to Australia! When the vote was announced on Wednesday, thousands of voters who had gathered in a park in central Sydney cheered, hugged each other and cried with happiness. Australia will now become the 26th nation to legalise same-sex marriage, with hopefully many more to follow. And finally for this week, Mattel have just released their first hijab-wearing Barbie. The doll has been modelled after Olympic fencer Ibtihaj Muhammad, who became the first American woman to compete at the Olympics wearing the Islamic headdress. Muhammad also won a bronze medal at Rio last year. The doll itself wears a hijab, an all-white fencing outfit, and carries a matching saber fencing sword and helmet. Muhammad worked with the designers at Mattel during the modelling process and helped them with things such as how to correctly tie a hijab. Muhammad said that she used to spend her time as a child creating tissue hijabs for her dolls so that they would look more like her, and that this new doll is a childhood dream come true. The doll is part of She Rose, which is a collection of Barbie dolls modelled after inspirational women from around the world. Mattel said that the collection represents female heroes who inspire girls by breaking boundaries and expanding possibilities for women everywhere. Women honoured with dolls also includes Misty Copeland, Ashley Graham, and Gabby Douglas. Also this week, Christmas ads were released. It's not necessarily a story, but go check them out. They are so cool this year, and post your favourite one in the comments below for everyone else to see. That's all for this week. I hope you've enjoyed this video and these stories have brightened up your day just a little bit more. I post new videos every Monday, so be sure to subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a good news blast. I hope you have an amazing week, go spread some love, and I will see you in the next video.